Hey everybody, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising, and I'm going to give you a workout tonight if you have back pain, and then this workout's going to help you to get stronger so you can relieve your back pain. So join me if you're having any back issues, and it happens to all of us. If you just sit at a desk too long, drive too much, or if you do a lot of moving stuff around or lifting, just anything can make a back act up. So this will be good for you. Okay, let's begin. I'm gonna ask you to lie on your back. And the first thing that I want you to do, have to lie on your back. I want you to feel how your abdominals, they pull tight to your spine. And what you have to do, pull in and feel an elongating, lifting sensation up. And then as you do that, I want you to feel how collarbones open wide on mat. And I'm going to have you inhale, lift your knee, and then I want you to make sure you don't go like that and lift your back. Keep your back close to the mat. Exhale. So you're going to lift, and then exhale. Tighten all the way across those two hip bones without lifting up your back. 8, 7, breathe in, exhale. 6, 5, and 4, 3. So you're feeling how your pelvis is super still, just leg moves. 1 more, inhale, exhale, bring leg down, other side. You're going to inhale, and then exhale. You almost want to feel like you have a cage wrapping around you. Your ribs pull around to the center. Breathe in. Exhale. Feel that deep core connection. Five more. 4, 3. You just want to feel how your back is staying really close to the mat. 2. Last one. All right. Next, I want you to feel space here between rib cage, hip bones. And I want you to see if you can lift left hip up without pinching your rib and hip closer. Keep space. Think of placing your thumbs on the bottom of the ribs. If I turn to you, your thumb is going to go on the bottom of your rib. Your index finger, middle finger is going to go right where your hip bones are. And you're going to see if you can lift one hip. We're going to call this 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock pelvic clock. Imagine rolling a ball from one hip bone to the other. And you're trying to keep legs relatively still and stable, straight line from here to here across those two hip bones. Avoid scrunching your rib cage and hip together. Feel like there's space on each side, and you're going to feel space open in your low back as well. So you're just going to keep space between the ribs, the hips, swivel to one side. One hip is up, half your pelvis lifts up, the other half touches mat. Bring one side down, then the other side lift and down. We'll do 4 more. So one hip lifts up at a time. 3, and then 2. Exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. 1 more. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, your 2 hip bones, anterior, superior, iliac spines, you could feel those bones. They're going to roll back towards navel. And then you exhale. You're going to imprint spine into mat as your core tightens in. And then you're just going to shift your pelvis back. Establish a range of motion that doesn't hurt your back. Say you go back and it hurts, you would only go halfway there. I just adjusted. So here's forward, posterior pelvic tilt, anterior. So I want you to tighten your core to your spine, tilt back, tilt forward. 3 more, tilt back, tilt forward. 2 more, exhale, tighten the core to your back. 1 more. Okay, here's a posterior pelvic tilt. Your hip bones just rolled back to your navel. Now, We're going to use your true hip flexor, your psoas, your hips tilted back towards navel, posterior pelvic tilt, your back is lengthening into mat. I'm going to have you slide your heel out without coming out of this imprint spine. So we're going to have our back stay close to the mat, slide the leg out, exhale, bring it back in. Just do one side, breathe in, and then exhale. Inhale. That leg slides out, that leg slides in without moving hips. Exhale. Slide the leg out, come back with control. 5. We're doing a little heel slide. 4. Keep pelvis stable on mat. 3. And then 2. And last one. Okay, switch legs. Maybe you'll let your hips roll forward, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. 2 more. Anteriorly tilt, posteriorly tilt. 1 more. Tilt forward, tilt back. Now once you tilt back, inhale, your heel slides out. Exhale, come in with control. You're just making sure that your back doesn't arch off mat. So you're just going to slide out, inhale, and then exhale. I want you to really focus, tighten across here. Tighten your core in. Exhale, 8, 7, and 6. Slide out, come in. 5, 4, use your core. 3, so you're just making sure your back doesn't lift off mat. 2 more. Exhale, last one, breathe in, breathe out. All right, reach under the knees, hug knees in, so your back just falls into the mat. Then we're going to place our feet down, hip width apart, middle of knee is over second toe, and you're just going to stretch the arms long. I'm going to have you keep open across shoulders, chest, no weight in the neck, weights across mid-back. Breathe in, your abdominals tighten all the way to your back, all the way through. Now you press your hips to the sky. You're going to bridge, and I want you to feel this whole area stays elongated, and then just lower your hips to the mat. No weight in neck. So you're going to go straight up, lift, hips to sky, tighten your core in, set your hips straight back. 8 more. Exhale to lift, inhale to come back. 7. Making sure, oh my gosh, I have a huge cramp. I was just going to say, make sure you don't get a cramp. And I got one. That kind of sucked. Okay. In order to not get a cramp, turn your glutes on, okay? So, engage your glutes, lift up hips, tailbone long, and then come straight back down. Lift straight up, press hips to sky, come straight down, keep knees aligned. 6, go straight up, straight down to mat. 5, abdominals tighten. 4, so you're just lifting straight. Send the energy past the thighs, front of hips, all the way past the knees, past the toes. Come straight back. 3 more. Straight back to mat. 2 more. The whole time your abdominals keep pulling tight. And last one, exhale, lift, and down. Okay, next one. Your 2 hip bones, pull them really tight all the way across. That's your transversus abdominis. It's a belt that comes straight across. Tighten all the way across. Now, without moving either hip bone, you're going to take left leg, knee sway to the side. Now, feel like your 2 sides of your ribs pull tighter together. Your hip bones face straight above you to the ceiling. exhale. Narrow those two hip bones together. Making sure you don't turn your pelvis. Keep hips to sky, straight above you. So you go inhale, side, exhale, inhale. So the only thing that moves is that left leg. Inhale now, exhale, tighten your core to your back. And 5, 4 more, 3, 2, keep pelvis super stable, last one. Okay, now this other hip drops down, breathe in, exhale. Draw the line across your two hip bones, exhale. Breathe in, now exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 hip bones, pull them tight, 2 more, and then last one. So hips are stable. Okay, next, take your knees in the air. If that's too much and you have back pain, you're just going to go like this. That's it. Little amount. Now see if it's okay. Keep your back on the mat. You're going to slowly see if you can tap and lift without your back lifting. If your back lifts, just go halfway. So keep your back on the mat. Reach. Exhale. So you're just trying to reach your legs away without letting your abdominals push out or without arching your back. 5 more. Avoid arching. 4, so that back is close to the mat. Core tightens in. 3. 2 more. Last one. So your abdominals keep really tight. Okay, you're in tabletop. You're going to take one leg out. You're going to float your arms up above your shoulders. And then I'm going to have you do opposite. If I don't hit, I might hit something. Hold on. So you're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. So you're going to reach arm overhead. Keep your abdominal tone. One arm reaches overhead. Come back without arching your back off the mat. Lift. Come in. Stretch apart. Come in. Keep your back close to the mat. Wrists stay straight. I'm trying not to hit anything. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Your back is close. Inhale. Exhale. 4 more. Keep spine reaching long into mat. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. And inhale. Exhale. Last set. It's like your shoulder blade aims deeper down into your back. All right. So this next thing I want you to do, you're going to come up onto your side. And then I'm going to have you bring your shoulder directly over your elbow. Make sure you don't collapse your ribs. Keep chest open. And you're going to come up and you're going to make a V with your feet like this. If you were to modify it, you'd stay down here on the mat like this for a little clam. Tighten all the way across, hip bone to hip bone. This is modified. Stay on the mat. Your feet are in a V. And then without moving either hip bone, you have to wrap your inner thigh to your outer thigh and your hip. And you're just going to lift the leg up, collarbones wide, shoulders down and back. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, without moving anything but your leg. 8, 7, this is to stabilize your pelvis. 6, help stabilize your lumbar spine. 5, 4, this is to get rid of your back pain. So 3, we got to start from somewhere. 2, last one. If you feel a slight burning sensation here, that's supposed to work there. If you wanted to challenge yourself, you would lift up into a modified plank. Heels are still together. And then what you would do, you would lift and down. Lift and down without moving the hips. And 8, 7, keep pelvis stable, 6, and then 5, and 4, 3. Our obliques have to work too, they wrap us. 2 more, and then last one. All right, now come all the way down, straight line, stack each hip one over the other. You're gonna lie down on your side. You could use your bottom arm, relax your head on your bottom arm, and then basically you want to feel like there's space between rib cage and hip bones again, and then you take both legs straight off the mat. Maybe your bottom arm's bent, maybe it's straight. Keep that top arm pushing into the mat, and you lift your legs up, reach, and then come back in. So basically, you're trying to create some space here between the rib cage and the hip bones. So you reach the legs straight out and then come back in. It's about length. We want to decompress the lumbar spine vertebra. 8. Careful not to break in the middle. Single file line. 7. Use this top arm to push against mat for stability. 6. And then 5. Reach legs long. Core tightens in. 4. And then 3. Stretch legs far away. 2 more. 1 more. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come onto your stomach for a second. And then what I want you to do, make sure that you avoid this kind of motion. You're going to bring tops of feet onto the mat. And I want you to pull your breastbone through the 2 arms. And let's just take a couple of deep inhales and exhales here. So shoulders are down, away from ears. So in yoga, we call this like a bhujangasana, like a low cobra. We also can call it sphinx, like we do in yin yoga. Stay here and breathe. We're making some room in your thoracic spine. So we're keeping our pelvis firm on mat. Hip bones stay down on mat. Just want to strengthen your spine. Just having your back open a little. Like if you sit all day working on your computer, just want to get your shoulders and your middle back to go the opposite direction. So that's why we're doing this extension. Now if this gets to be too much, from time to time you can rest your back by just resting your forehead like this on the backs of your hands. That's okay. You would just stay here for a couple breaths. Let the front of your pelvis just sink into the mat. So you're just letting your hips sink down into the mat. Low back is lengthened. Breathing in and breathing out. One more deep inhale here. Excellent. Now take your hands under your shoulders and you're going to slowly press up to your hands and your knees. And then you could take your toes, curl them under for a second. And then I'm going to have you sit straight back, hips over heels. And then that way you could stretch out your back. Pull your breastbone forward and then send your 2 sits bones, the bones you sit on, reaching back behind you. Maybe you'll reach through the fingertips so that your hands reach out in front, your sits bones reach back. Feel a stretch across your middle low back. If this bothers anybody's knees, just put a rolled up blanket under the knees for support. Try to feel like your sits bones pull down behind you towards the mat, and they're pulling down away from the back of the rib cage, so you have soft tissue space between back of ribs and back of pelvis. Really stretch that low back part. One more deep inhale here. And slowly walk hands under shoulders, press up to hands and knees. And you're gonna walk your feet all the way around to your other side. Now, we're gonna do shoulders gonna come right under your ear. And then you're gonna bring your heels together like you're going into a little V. And we wanna make some room between the rib cage and your hip bones, so the only thing that moves is your leg. So you wanna feel how your abdominals really tighten in, your collarbones open, shoulders down. 8. So you're gonna really squeeze from the inner thigh around to your outer thigh and hip and glute. 7. And 6, we don't want this hip to move. 5, 4, tighten your core. 3 more, breathe in, exhale. 2 more. You just rotate up, come back. Last one, rotate up, come back. All right, now you can either do a second set, or you can come up onto a modified little side plank. Heels come together. And then you're gonna slowly turn, come back, lift that knee. And then your abdominals are just tightening into your back. And you're keeping this shoulder away from your ear. 8, 7, your hips are facing straight forward. 6, 5, 4, abdominals connect. 3, 2 more. Last one. All right, come all the way down. Now you're gonna extend the legs straight. You can either have your bottom arm bent, or you're gonna extend it. Your shoulders are away from the ears. Single file line. Watch that you don't break at the center. So you wanna stay single file line, space here between ribs and hips. Ouch. I'm trying to get space. Okay. You're going to stretch legs straight out of your center and then come back down. So you're going to lift straight up, lengthen apart. Feel space between ribs and hips. Exhale, lift up, lower down. 8 more. Making room in your lumbar spine. 7. Exhale, 6. Stretch legs far away. And 5. Stretch, stretch, stretch. 4 more. 3 more. You're using this top hand to press against mat for stability. 2 more. Exhale, lift, stretch legs long. 1 more. Now after you reach legs long, slowly release down. And then from here, I'm going to have you turn onto your back again. Once you turn onto your back, I'm going to have you take one knee, pull towards chest, the other leg straightens against your mat. Allow the low back to come close to the mat. And just take 3 deep inhales. 2 more. 1 more. Switch. Extend the other leg out, pull the other knee in, hug in, breathe in. Exhale, 2 more deep inhales. And then exhale, 1 more time, deep inhale. And then exhale. All right, so I'm gonna have you do something called a reclined pigeon. You're gonna take your ankle and you're gonna bring it up right over the knee, like a little higher than your knee. You're lying on your mat. This low part of the back is elongating into the mat. So you don't want to arch. Your back is firm into mat. Now maybe modified, maybe this is where you would stay. You would just have your ankle over the knee, and you might even feel like a big lateral hip stretch here. So this would be modified. You could stay here. Back is close to the mat, and just stay here and breathe. Okay, so if you want to go into your recline pigeon, you could take your hands under this hamstring, this back of your upper thigh. You're going to flex your feet. Use this right elbow to gently guide that inner thigh outward. And you would just gently hug legs in, hold, and breathe. If you had like a yoga block and you needed support for your head and neck, you can like make yourself more comfortable. You can even put a pillow like under your neck here if you wanted. That's totally fine. Head lengthens away from your tailbone. You can stay here. If you wanted to go deeper in the stretch, switch your grip from behind your thigh, go down below the knee, and then pull in a little closer. Pull the shin closer, and you're going to feel the stretch more in your glute. A little higher. You're going to feel it right over in here. Relax into it. Let that low back fall into the mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more deep inhale. And gently release. All right. Maybe you'll do tiny little windshield wiper. Sway your knees side to side. We're going to switch sides now. So you're going to cross opposite foot over the knee. You're going to reach under the hamstring. Use your inner thigh to guide that inside of this leg out a little bit. Neck is long, head away from tailbone. Flex your feet. And you're just going to hug in, keeping your back on the mat. Modified would be less. You just have your ankle crossed over the knee. And you could keep this foot on the ground. If you already feel a stretch, you're good to go. Feel how you're lengthening your low back into the mat. Never put pressure on your knee joint because we don't want to injure this soft tissue. So if you were to put pressure on your leg, it would be having hands come behind the thigh. Use the left elbow to guide your left inner thigh outward. And that'll suffice. Breathing in. Keep that low back close to the mat. If you want to go deeper, take your grip from behind the upper thigh, go under the knee, You're just going to slowly pull that shin in a little closer now. Going deeper into that gluteal. On that left side, one that's ankles crossed. Stay here and breathe. Stay at whichever variation feels right for you in this moment. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more deep inhale here. And exhale. Gently release. All right. We're going to uncross that ankle. Reach under the knees. Maybe take an inhalation. Breathe into the space mid-back between your 2 shoulder blades. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe into that space. Gently lower back down. And then say you have a fold-up blanket. We're going to do a little Supta Baddha Konasana. So say you have a folded up blanket, and then I'm going to show just one side. I don't have 2 with me right now. If you had 2 folded blankets, if you had 2 yoga blocks like that, anything, if you have 2 pillows even, you could put one on each side of you. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is take the bottoms. I'm going to get a cramp in a second, okay? I just want to take the soles of your feet, bottoms of feet together, and then your knees twist out. So that's what this is for. So if you had your blanket like folded, you can have your knees rest and have support. So that's what you would do with the pillow or your blanket. So I'm just going to take this back over to here. Say you have a block. You could stick a block under each knee for extra support. Or at the top of the leg, wherever you feel like you want to have a little support. This would be higher up. If you needed extra support, you'd make it go higher. So basically, the soles, the bottoms of your feet are together. And then you're going to stretch head away from tailbone. Feel the core tighten in. Palms to sky. Relax those shoulders down. Chest open. And just stay here and breathe for a couple counts. Breathing in. And breathing out. You're going to feel the crease in the front of your hip here. So we're just doing our reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Relax front of shoulders, chest melts open, palms to sky. Soften your breastbone. Let the chest sink and melt into the earth as you get the air out of your lungs. Getting those hips, those thigh bones to rotate externally into our hip sockets, the acetabulum. And while you're lying here, think of your 2 hip bones tightening. Narrow the 2 hip bones closer together. You're going to feel support now when those 2 hip bones pull together. It gives you extra support for your low back. And then it feels like the low back of pelvis widen across, they widen into the mat underneath you. So you draw your two hip bones together in front. Allow the back of your pelvis to sink, melt, widen into your mat. That way your back isn't arching off the mat. It's lengthening. Two more deep inhales here. And one more deep inhale. And exhale, release. Slowly bring your knees together. And then you're going to have your feet go hip width apart one more time. What I want you to do here, I want you to feel like your entire spine is just lengthening. Arms reach by sides. You're in your neutral. Your hip bones face directly above you. One more time, I want you to lift up your pelvis, lengthen tailbone away, and then come straight back down. So I want you to really feel how your core tightens in, low back is long, glutes turn on, lower pelvis to mat. 8. Maybe you'll lift higher than me, maybe you'll lift half as high. 7. Weight is across mid upper back, no weight in neck. 6. And down. 5, so you feel your core deepen in. And 4, exhale. 3 more, exhale. Abdominals connect, 2 more. And last one, exhale. And then gently lower hips to mat. One last time, hug both legs in. Let that low back just really fall against mat. Slowly, I want you to turn onto your side. Take a second. You're going to have your top hand push down into the mat so you can lift yourself up. And then there's something else that I want you to do. So I want you to come onto all fours for a moment. So you're going to come onto all fours, hands and knees. And then basically, I want you to feel your abdominals streamline into your back. So you're on your hands and your knees. And then from here, I want you to do a little bird dog to strengthen your back and your hip extensors. So your core tightens in. Again, if you needed a little padding under a knee, you could always put padding under your knee if it hurt to kneel. You're going to do your opposite arm, opposite leg, away from your center line. Really tighten the core to your back. Hold for 10, 9, we're strengthening. 8, 7, your core pulls in tight. 6, 5, and 4, 3, 2 more. Come in. Okay, now you're just going to switch sides. Instead of doing this, I always like curl my toes under so it doesn't put more pressure on the knees. You could do either or. I just like doing it that way. You could see what works for you. Your core tightens in, your opposite arm, your opposite leg, reach out of your center, hold for 10 and 9. Tighten your core in. 8, 7, 6, 5, tighten your core. 4, and then 3, 2. Gently come back in. Great. Now we're going to do 5 cat-cows just to stretch out your spine. So if you've never done it before, you would press shoulder blades wide to sky, drop your chin, drop your tailbone, and then you would inhale, stretch head away from tailbone, and then you would exhale. You would modify your range. If any range you do hurt, you would just modify, do less range. Exhale. shoulder blades wide apart. Inhale. 3 more. Exhale. Round that low back. Drop your chin. Head away from tailbone. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. And then 1 more time. Exhale. Round your low back. Spread those blades apart. Head away from tailbone. Excellent. All right. Then I'm going to have you turn. We're just going to sit. Again, if you wanted to have like a rolled up blanket underneath, you could prop your pelvis up like that to give hips a little extra support. And then what I'm going to have you do is just stretch out each side. You could even take a block. If you had a block, if you had a pillow, you would take your forearm, you would rise up. Avoid doing that where your sits bone, your hip goes up off mat. So you want to keep grounded, and you would just stretch this whole side up, and then just try to pull this part apart. Rib cage pulls off the hip. So your forearm is either on a block, you're stretching your entire side open. Maybe you'll go a little deeper. Rib and hip pull apart. 1 more time. Gently, you're going to come back up. We're almost done. You could take this to your other side. So you're rooting down. You're going to sit up tall. Bring forearm to your block. Really stretch. We want space between your rib cage and your hip bone, making sure this side doesn't lift off your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just make some length. Maybe your arms bends behind head. Maybe you keep your arm reaching long. If you want to go deeper, you would bring your forearm to the mat, but just keep your hip down, because we avoid compression by keeping our hip down. Lengthening rib away from the hip. Breathing in. Breathing out. Really stretch rib and hip apart. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more time. Breathing in. Stretch apart. Exhale. Gently coming back up. And the last stretch that I'm going to have you do, we're going to take our hands, clasp them together, and I just want you to stretch your shoulder blades away from each other in your back, and then I want you to rise up. Head lengthens away from tailbone. Stretch, sit tall. Exhale and just stretch those shoulder blades. Press them apart behind you. And then inhale, sit tall. And exhale. Shoulder blades apart. Tighten abdominal wall in. And 1 more time each way. Extend and exhale. Shoulder blades open apart. And then we're just going to take hands to our heart. Come into center. And I thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that this gives your back some relief. If you're in back pain, I hope this gives you a little bit of relief. Just moving, tightening your core in, strengthening your back, stretching. It all helps, and it helps you stabilize your spine, and then it helps you get some motion and mobility into it as well. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. And next time I'm going to do a harder yoga workout. So just wanted to help anyone out there right now who has back pain from anything. You could have injured yourself or stress. Just wanted to help out. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone. Peace. Take care. Bye. See you again soon.